Hi, this is Sarah, and I'm going to be going over Canva in this video. First, I want to share a fun fact. The way I started recording was I pushed Shift, Command, R, and that helps me record to my computer. So, I'm not always able to work in places where I can record and speak, sometimes in the library. And this was the case when I made this graphic. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to record myself making it, but Canva is the tool that I have the most experience with. It is free and you can do a lot without premium and you can do a whole heck of a lot more with premium. So what I like about Canva is every student can access it and do pretty much everything they'll need to do. So I know a lot about Canva, so I didn't really record myself using it. And I don't want to claim that I'm like learning a lot about a new resource. This is a resource I use a lot and I think I'm really good at. But it's something that my students might not use, might not know how to use, and something I can always be getting better at. So my focus in this project is now kind of resource creation and visual creation, less so than Photoshop. And so I'm going to share what I learned. One thing that I'd like to learn more about is how to use templates effectively and where the best templates are. Are they on Photoshop? Are they on Canva? Are they on Adobe Express? Are they for Google Slides, on SlidesGo? Are they really not so good? And I should make my own. So this started as a template. So you can see I've already made this. Started as this template right here. So as you can see, that I've made some changes. So let's zoom out. So first, I changed my background color because this white was kind of hard to read and I didn't feel like it matched as much. So how you change the background? You click on the back, go to the color, just change the color. You can use these or you can use your own. If you have a color you like, you can type it in. So next, I changed this circle into something that I thought was more visually connected to my idea, which was practice ideas. So I went to Elements, typed in what I want. So I was playing around with adding a trophy, but before I grabbed this brain, you might notice that this brain is a little bit different than one I have here. So they're the same color, so you can see the colors here. This one is less opaque. So I changed the transparency. So how you do transparency is right here. And so I'm going to talk about things that I like about Canva. I think the tools, once you get the hang of them, are really easy to use. They're very straightforward. I never find myself really needing, I'd say if I was spending 5 hours on Canva, I would have to Google like 2 things. And that's because they make it really good to figure things out in the app. I think it's very intuitive. For example, Elements, I go here and I search text. They have a bunch of pre-done text, but I didn't have to add any text here because they'd done this all for me. And so here I changed it a little bit. It was kind of hard to read here against the brain. So what I did was I bolded it and I also gave it an effect of a shadow just to make it pop a little more without making it a lot bigger. I also found that this green was a little hard to use. So I changed the green a little bit. I bolded all these words and I added paragraphs. So I'm able to create a pretty good graphic here. So let's say I was going to make a new graphic. I would go here, start with a template. And so I was looking to make a map. So you can see there's about 4 pretty good flowcharts I can use for premium, and look at all these ones I can use, but I also can do these. So let's say I was a student trying to make a visual Venn diagram. I could go here. Now I've got my template. Well, my topic's about the ocean, so I want to change to blue. So I'm going to go to blue. So one thing that's nice about having Canva Pro is you can add palettes, which are just like color families that Canva has already created for you. But I don't have that, so I'm just going to do kind of oceany colors. Boom. And then I want to change the font. Go in here, change the font. And sometimes it will come down here and I can change all. So now everything here, I love that. It just pops up. I don't have to do any button commands. Something I really like about this for students is Photoshop is very key oriented. So you can use it really quickly. If you're a graphic designer, I can go click, click, click. And I like that for myself. If I was to, say, you know what, this summer, I'm going to make a resource a day about debate. Over time, I think I would save a lot of time by using Photoshop. But that's over time. For students who are making maybe 10 graphics a year, Canva, I think right now is a better resource. That's kind of the idea I'm going in with what I know. and this is going to be an exploration. So I can change the background. I can come here. I hate this font. I'm going to make it Pacifico. Wow, that's huge. And I can just drag this across. It gives me lots of lines. I can highlight it. I can go down. So there's not much on Canva also you can't do without premium. There's just a lot of things you could do better with premium, which is interesting. And schools can sometimes apply for Canva Pro. So if like the team really was using Canva all the time, I could also help them apply for Canva Pro, which is cool. So the templates are strength, the usability is a strength. Sometimes the customization is a lot lower. Let's say I wanted to add like a picture of myself debating and just bring in my picture. I can only crop in squares. So the cropping is less good. It's a little harder to use images. A big strength is Photoshop. I can't search up any icons here. Look at all these icons I can use. There's just so many. I can even like make a really cohesive photo story by using all at the same time. And these are beautiful. And I don't think I need premium to use them. So if I wanted to do fruits and vegetables as my topic, I have really professional looking, visually beautiful and cohesive graphics. It's really hard to get that visual cohesion on Photoshop unless you're really thinking very hard about it, whereas these give you icon families. So I really stay in the app, and that's also useful if I'm a student because school, like firewalls are crazy. So my coach might say, okay, here's 5 websites you can use. The chances that I can access all 5 are like negligent. So to review, this is what I made in Canva for my students. I found it very intuitive, very useful. I really like Canva. I think it's one of the best resources out there. There's some things that are kind of hard. I can't resize this image. If I wanted to turn this into a poster instead of a graphic, I couldn't do that without Canva Pro. I like all these text blocks a lot. I think that's super helpful. And I think this is just a really easy entry point into visual design, which is something I'd love to teach my students more about, the connection between verbal communication and nonverbal communication. So I really like Canva. This is what I made for my students. And I'm excited to learn more about Adobe Express, continue playing with Photoshop and slides as a way to learn more about resources my students can use. So I'll load this on my site, and yeah.